Hi everyone, Mike here from motomule.com. Done plenty of videos on the trailers, figured it's about time to do one on the hitch carrier unit. As you can see, this particular one is not the standard color of red and black. This one is about ready to get put in a box, shipped up to Hillsboro, Oregon to a owner that has a Husaberg motorcycle like myself. So obviously they can be done in different colors. There just is an additional charge for colors other than red and black. One thing I want to point out on the carrier itself is that you'll notice there are two holes for your hitch pin that you can select from. If it's possible to use this hole, that would be your first choice. Some vehicles, however, the bumper or other obstruction may prevent this from sliding in far enough to get access to this hole. In those cases, then you've got an additional hole you can use, so you just pull the whole unit out a little further and use this second hole. But again, first choice, second choice. Okay, the first step to installing the hitch lift is obviously just pick it up and slide it into the receiver on your vehicle. And again, try to utilize the hole closest in if at all possible. Insert your hitch pin and retaining clip. One feature you'll notice is that I've welded a wing handle to the release valve for the jack. So when you loosen this release valve, you can then push the platform down. And then you can retighten the valve, pull out the handle, and you can jack the platform back up again. And you jack it all the way up. You'll see there's a pin here that acts as a stop. You jack it up until the arm hits that pin, reinsert your handle, and that pin lines up these holes on the sides for the safety bolts. When you're hauling anything, you want to make sure to put these safety bolts, there's one on each side, so that the weight of your bike up here is not on the jack itself, it's being supported by these pins. Holds everything securely and safely. To lower it back down, you'd pull out both of these, one from this side, one from the other side. Again, loosen the valve on the jack, and you can push the platform down. Okay, loading your bike onto the lift is really quite simple. You just drive the bike over the lift, slide it into place to where the foot pegs line up over the mounting pleats. Kind of hold it in position, grab the handle, and start jacking it up. You can go ahead and jack the bike up into position. And then insert both of the safety bolts. Again, one on each side. Securing the bike into the position on the rack is pretty simple. You've got a carriage head bolt, a UHMW washer, and a wing nut. You insert the carriage bolt from underneath through the foot peg, put the UHMW washer in place, and spin the wing nut into place. You don't have to put a lot of tension on this, but it needs to be snug. So you just get this one into position, you know, barely just snug it down for right now, like so. And then you do the same thing on the other side, on the other foot peg. Once you have both carriage bolts and wing nuts in place, wiggle the bike around, trying to take out any slop and tightening up these things about as tight as you can get by hand. Securing the front of the motorcycle varies on what brand and style you've got. For this particular model, what I'd like to do is just run a strap over the front radiator mounts in the front of the frame here. And hook it. You'll notice there are two hooks on this side of the carrier itself. So hook it into there, slack out, hook it here, tighten the strap. That'll keep the front end of the motorcycle from rotating around the foot pegs and coming off. And then to keep the steering from flopping around, I cock it that way towards the vehicle, take the extra strap I've got, wrap it around this fork leg a few times, and then take a bungee and just run the bungee through here and over to this strap here as well. And that just keeps the front wheel from being able to move too far. And again, for each different bike, you'll come up with a system that works the best for your particular bike. I also want to point out that the 2-inch square tube that is an integral part of the hitch carrier itself has slop where it fits into your receiver on your vehicle, and that slop allows the motorcycle to sway from side to side like this, you know, and so that when you get the thing mounted up there and the first time you go around a corner, you'll see in your rearview mirror the bike leaning one way and you might panic, and it just only leans as far as the slop will allow it in the receiver hitch. They do make devices that you can mount on there to eliminate that slop, and you know, so you won't have as much movement on the motorcycle. I'll try to locate those things and get them available on the website as well. One other thing I want to point out is that after you've driven down the road for a few miles, stop and check the tension on the wing nuts on each foot peg. They can loosen up, especially after jolting around and moving in a few corners and things. It's a good idea to check the tension on those and keep them tight. And on a really long trip, you know, check it every few hundred miles or 1,000 miles or whatever.